So by me hearing these stories, I create a contrast bias. This contrast opens my eyes because when I come back home, back to the States, back to beautiful California, and I sit down right in front of my computer, I'm like, you know what? I'm living in fucking in blessings that yo, I wasn't even gonna make a video today, but I found my old microphone and shitty hair. I just don't give a fuck. I just care about dropping content. So I gotta talk about something very important. Well, everything I talk about is important, but this will be another eye opener. That's what I consider myself, or I try to be an eye opener, okay? For my peers, for myself too. When I see myself talk, my boom, just become more aware. So I gotta talk about something that if you're watching this, more than likely, I know one person that watches my videos cannot relate 100%, but the message will still come across and still be as vivid. So if you're watching this and you live in the United States of America, you are blessed. You have an opportunity that others wish, others are dying for. Now you might be complaining about Donald Trump being president, but the president is not necessarily going to specifically target you as an individual and ruin your life. Now there is some situations that there's Muslim ban, these immigration policies that are affecting individuals, but you know you can't let that stop you. You can't be focusing on the glass half empty. You gotta see the glass half full. So United States is still the land of opportunity, and well, there's opportunity everywhere now, but if you're living this in this day and age where if you have internet access, if you live in the United States, if you can see yourself as an individual that is willing to be an autodidact and prosper. Autodidact is a fancy word for self-educate. You got the dream life. So I'm gonna give you guys a contrast bias. This is one of the 25 cognitive biases, and these psychological biases are so fucking powerful. So powerful. They're so underrated. Not a lot of people know about them, but I'm about to bless you guys with one of them. I could make a whole movie on the 25, but tonight I want to talk about one that's very important, and it's known as the contrast bias, or you could know it as the comparison bias, okay? So think about it as you comparing yourself to whatever situation it may be. You compare yourself to X, you comparing yourself to Y. By you creating this mental contrast, it's going to influence your brain. It's going to create some neuron activity between your brain to bounce around, and it's going to create different types of thoughts. Now, this can be like a double-edged sword, okay? For myself, let's get a little personal. I see the progress, this competence I've gained over time, and it feels great. But at the same time, I've seen people that have achievements way higher than me, younger than me, way smarter than me. So, I can compare myself to people below me and people above me. And, comparing myself, like, balance is key. So, if I compare myself too high all the time, I'm going to be feeling like shit, which I do for the most part. And in that case, in this contrast bias. But if I compare myself to people way below me, I'm just gonna get comfortable and build an ego and so on and so on. So balance is key. Feel good about yourself, but never get comfortable. I was saying right above you guys on my desk, it says get comfortable being uncomfortable. So this contrast bias is very powerful, and I have a little story. It's about my parents. So my parents, they came from Mexico, and I've gone to Mexico. We've gone on family trips, and it's given me this contrast bias in fucking visible, tangible perspective. It's opened my eyes so much. So You know, I've gone to Mexico. I've seen the lifestyle, the difference. Like, it's crazy. That's why traveling is such a vital thing in life. You know, why do you think every successful individual likes to travel? They're getting a different perspective, a different contrast. So, by me going to Mexico, it really opened my eyes. And my parents, they always tell me about these stories about their struggles, about how hard it is, how lucky we have it to be here. And these stories, they are pretty crazy. Like, they didn't have enough funds for food. They didn't know if they were going to eat the next day. They had to work hours on hours for like $10 a day. They had to commute super far for a penny's buck, you know? These struggles, how my grandma amazes me, such a strong individual. Like, her story, my grandma's story is so stoic. I respect her so much. And one story is that every single day she would have to walk around, I would say, more than 4 miles. I'm lowballing it right now. So more than four miles every day. Walk there. It was to a well, and she would get water, and she would carry the water on her back, and she would go back to the house, and she would do this every single day. And after that, she would have to wash by hand manually. She would have to cook. She would have to do so much. And part of that is another crazy part of her story is that she was an orphan at a fairly young age, and how she became an orphan is a crazy story. Like, my grandma's such a strong individual. So by me hearing these stories, I create a contrast bias. This contrast opens my eyes, because when I come back home, back to the States, back to beautiful California, and I sit down right in front of my computer, I'm like, you know what? I'm living in fucking in blessings that, you know, this computer, my phone has so many opportunities that my ancestors couldn't even dream of. You know, what if my grandma was born today? How different would her life be? What if my parents were born today? What would they be doing? How would their lives be different? But it's not like that. I'm here. I'm here in the present day. You're here in the present day. What are you doing? So this video should really be an eye opener for you, because if you're watching this, obviously you have internet. Obviously, you know, you have shelter. Obviously, you have privileges that other people do not. Imagine you were born, you know, we hear this a lot. People in Africa. I've talked to people through Instagram, these pretty influential pages. I started networking with them, and I tell them, where you from? And I had a couple individuals from Africa, and I tell them, oh, that's cool. And they ask me, where are you from? And I say, California. And like, oh, I can't wait to go there. I dream about going to California. And I'm like, wow, you know, I'm really lucky. I'm blessed. Having a feeling of gratitude makes you see the bigger picture, and it's really amazing. This little contrast bias, one of these 25 cognitive biases, goes such a long way. So, you know, whenever I'm just sitting down and I feel like I'm wasting my time, I'm like, you know what? I'm wasting my time. What if my grandma was here in this day and age? If we switch roles, what would she be doing? Would she be working her ass off? I'm telling you guys, we really live in the day and age of opportunity. Right now, what we're going through is affluency. The technology growth rate is going in the affluence state. Okay, so for the most part, you know, let's talk about, let's say, I don't know, 10,000 BC, or whatever. Back then, they created the wheel, which was the revolutionary, and from the wheel, a couple more millenniums, thousands of years, agricultural farming came into place. And from agricultural farming, humans were no longer nomads. And, you know, we became to settle, we became to grow communities. There's a thing called Dunbar's number, which means that a human can have around 150 close acquaintances, like friends. And that's because 150 is the amount of number that our human psyche can, like, evaluate each individual properly. So, you know, this progress that we grew communities, we grew towns, and then we grew cities. But from an agricultural standpoint to a city standpoint, it took thousands of years. Okay, so now we got to see, so we started with the wheel, right? Let's say we started right here at, let's say 5000 BC, and then at 2000 BC, I'm just making this up. Don't take my word for the exact dates, okay? So 3,000 years later, we got the agricultural farming, and from agricultural farming, it took, let's say, 2,000 years, so 1000 BC, we have towns, villages, and so on. And from 1000 BC to 1950, so that's around another 2,000 years, around that area. So 2,000 years, we became the internet, and this is where it starts to skyrocket. In the last 50 years, the world has changed more than the past 2,000 years. So take that into consideration. You know, say this is the technology, right? From the wheel to the agricultural to cities to technology, boom, to computer to the internet. We're literally in this point stage. And say we're born right here. Say I was born 1998. I'm like, we're right here, and you know we missed this gap, but we're literally living in a day and age of opportunity. The world is evolving extremely fast. You have to be aware. Boom, boom, catch these opportunities, man. I'm telling you, this message I'm telling you right now, I literally got from this online program I bought. You know, I'm investing myself because the internet is a fucking huge opportunity, a gateway for me to become a mental sponge. I'm just literally just taking the time to sit down in a fucking chair and listen. That's really all it takes. I'm like, Tin, you're smart. Tin, how do you do it? I'm like, I'm just listening. I'm just standing on the shoulders of giants. That's literally it. And it amazes me how people are not willing to do this. Think about the contrast. Next time you feel fucking lazy, and don't worry, I sidetrack. I'm on my phone too much time. I believe so. But even when I'm on my phone, let's say I'm on social media, I'm seeing a bigger picture. I run a social media marketing agency. I see what's relevant. I see what's trending. I see what's going on. You see, I'm not just a sheep. I'm not just da-da-da-da. I'm fucking sitting back, getting a bigger picture, seeing what's working, tweeting this, seeing this gets more engagement. You see, I'm not wasting my time. I know every second is worth millions. And I got this awareness from living in a day and age full of opportunity. That's all it is. As simple as I can put it. It's just this. And I started to understand my psychology. I started to understand awareness. And I started sharpening my craft. Little by little. And every day I am doing that. Every single day. Like Charlie Munger, a billionaire, he said, go tonight. Every night, go to bed a little wiser. Those simple, powerful words can change your life. So, I hope this is an eye-opener. I hope you understand the contrast, you know, and I hope you start taking action. That's really what it is. You can watch these videos. I can watch videos all day long. But what really matters is taking action, right? I think that's a true definition of knowledge. Knowledge is information put into action. So with that being said, I want you to fucking YouTube a video that you will learn something. Google a question you have. Don't wonder. Know. You know, I want you to know how to do digital marketing, how to make money online, or how to do something online. It just blows my mind. There's so many opportunities. And remember that contrast bias. So you need a little push and a little motivation. Just remember, damn, I'm living in present day that is full of opportunities. I'm never going to be back. And later, a couple more years, there's going to be so much opportunities. And if I prepare now, this my favorite saying of luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So if I prepare myself now, I'm going to be getting lucky as fuck later. Doors are opening, and a lot of individuals, not just myself, are already catching on to this trend. Today, I got added to an Instagram chat full of smart individuals, 16-year-olds making more than $10,000 a month. 16-year-olds already giving speeches. I'm like, how the fuck you guys doing this? This one guy in the chat, I guess he has a company that he needs VC, venture capitalist investors. He's like $70,000 because his companies will be worth millions. I'm just like, I feel like a little bitch in this group chat, but I don't want to be the biggest fish in the room. 50 Cent said, if you're the biggest person in the room, 50 Cent said, if you're the biggest person in the gym, you're at the wrong gym. You see? And this is exactly the contrast, guys, into action. So, you guys, I didn't even plan making on this video, but, why not? Why not share what I learned? I'm not trying to be selfish. I'm not trying to be greedy. I'm really just trying to spread awareness. I'm a fucking eye-opener if I can be. So, with that being said, I hope you guys learned something, took it to heart, and I'm virtually shaking your hand for watching 15 minutes, investing in your time. I really genuinely appreciate it. Not many people can do that, believe it or not. So let's get it, guys. Message me if you guys need anything. I'm here. If you guys have questions, whatever, I'll try my best to answer them. Peace and positivity, my guys. Thank you.